Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from, jeepers, where am I? Where am I? Tonopah in Arizona. Sorry. Oh, jeepers, my hair looks a mess. Oh, I've been wearing my visor most of the day because it's great sunshade when I'm driving because I'll show you in a second, the sun visor's up where I can't reach it, so I've been able to put a visor on, like the peak makes it really good, but I didn't realise what a mess it makes in my hair. Oh, jeepers. I have to remember that for next time. Anyway, it has been an amazing, amazing day. We left, let's see, what happened today? Hang on, I've got to go to the notes, see, got the notes. So last night before I went to bed, I set the alarm. Totally forgot it was a Friday yesterday, and today was Saturday. So I set the alarm. Fortunately, I am a person who wakes up early. And the alarm was just as a safeguard to make sure we got out of here on time because we knew we had a long drive today. This is one of our longest drives that we had today. On the way to Florida, we've got some long drives in there, and this is one of the longer ones. So I woke up like around 5, I think it was. I think it was 5. I can't remember. 5:30, somewhere around there. The alarm was set to go at 6:07. And I'm laying in bed there, and I'm just checking on Facebook and all of that, and getting ready because I knew the alarm was going to go off at 6:07. That was the time I was going to go get Zephy out of the crate. Then we go back to bed, snuggle for 30 minutes, and the next alarm goes off, and then it's time to get up. And I looked at the clock on the phone, and I thought, it's like 6:10. Why didn't the alarm go off? Go check the alarm. It's set for weekdays, and today is Saturday, so not weekends. So quickly changed the 6:37 one to be to go off on a Saturday. Jumped out of bed, grabbed Zephy out of her, let her out of her crate, and went back to bed so we could have our snuggle time before we had to get moving for the day. We then went out we got up, got dressed, and all that stuff. Everything was basically done the night before, so all we had to do today was collapse her crate and unplug. Everything else was ready to go. And move her food bowl. That was the other thing. I almost closed this dining room, this slide here, with her food bowl still there. Almost. I turned and looked before I hit the switch, went, oh, we need to put that away first. Crazy duck. Oh, now she's going to settle down. She's setting off some steam. And so then we went to the dog park, and we were the only ones in the dog park, and we were in the big, large one again. And so we're there, and then this guy comes in, didn't even ask if Zephy was okay with other dogs or anything. He just brings his dog in, lets her off the leash, and off she runs. So Zephy made a new friend. And then the lady who owned the dog that was roaming free last night that we talked about, she turned up with that same dog, and the dog went straight to Zephy and started chasing Zephy, and actually caught Zephy, like nipped at her heels or something, and caused Zephy to flip around and yip at her. So Zephy started chasing her, so they ended up playing and chasing on each other and all that sort of stuff. So she did get some playtime in this morning, which was awesome. And then we came back, disconnected everything. We were on the road at 9 o'clock, went down the street just under a mile to where there's a shopping centre, and they had one of those Walmart neighbourhood things, which is just the supermarket portion. And so found somewhere to park Sparkles, which was a little difficult because there's a lot of stuff in the shopping centre, including a McDonald's and a Starbucks with a drive-through. So the two drive-through lines for that were massive and creating lots of traffic issues in their parking space. But managed to get the Sparkles parked and had her facing towards Walmart, so Zephy would be able to sit in the passenger seat, which is where she sat when I did the gas, and be able to watch me coming and going. And so did a quick run around in there. Of course, it takes a little longer when you're not used to the layout of a place. So it took me a little longer than I wanted, but got everything I needed to get. Came back, and I saw the McDonald's, and I thought, I haven't even had breakfast yet. So it's been a long time since I've had Mickey D's for breakfast. So I thought, Egg McMuffin, why not? And so as I'm coming back, I'm looking at the RV, and I can see Zephy sitting up on the dashboard. So I'm going to show you just how deep the dashboard is on a bounder. See this nice big, and look, this will give you a size reference. Remotes, DVD case. This is what I'm watching tonight. So there's, from here, you can probably get like 2.5 DVD covers there. So it is pretty deep, and she was only on the leather portion here. She wasn't on the metal portion, which is that bridge just underneath the blind there. And she was sitting up there, happy as Larry, She had made herself at home, and I've noticed over the last few days that, especially since we've been on the road, that she's becoming more and more comfortable with being in the RV and has been exploring more. Like she's never been up around, she had never been up around the driver's area or the passenger's foot area or even onto the headpiece here, and never up on there. Before, so she'd never been in that area, but the last few days she's been going into the well of the driver's area, coming over, exploring in here, actually sitting on this, sitting on the passenger seat, and she's now taken to actually sitting on the passenger seat when I'm here in the recliner. So when I'm in the recliner in the evening, she now goes and lays up on the passenger seat there, so I can just reach across and pet her and that sort of stuff. Normally she's on the couch and I'm on the recliner. So she's becoming more comfortable with where she can go and what she can do in the RV. And I think she's seen some dogs out there because, oh yeah, there's a big black dog walking past. Big black dog. Looks like a big black lab. So she's becoming more and more comfortable with exploring the RV more, and she's becoming more comfortable with snuggling up to me now too, which is kind of cool because I kind of wanted a snuggly dog. And so that's really cool. So I put the groceries inside the door. I had this big bag that they were in, and closed the door, and of course she's sort of like, what the heck's going on? I said, I'll be right back. Went over, grabbed breakfast, came back, sat at the table, and of course she jumps up on the other side of the dinette and is trying to reach across the table to get my Egg McMuffin. I'm like, no. So then she comes and sits up next to me wanting some, and I'm like, no. So I ended up giving her a piece of the egg, and boom, that was gone. She's like, oh, this is really good. Can I have some more? So she got a little bit of the egg that was in the Egg McMuffin today. And then we got on the road, and by the time we had done gotten here, parked, got the groceries put away, got breakfast, had breakfast, it was now 10 o'clock and we hit the road. So we hit the road at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We got here to Tonopah at 3:15 Mountain Time, which would be 2:15 Pacific time, so that's 4 hours and 15 minutes from when we left. I was really wrapped. I mean, the drive, you couldn't have asked for a better drive today, except for the roads. The roads could be greatly improved. So if anybody knows anybody in like Department of Transportation, they really need to look at some of these major highways, because there are so many broken bits that really rattle the rigs. Trucks, RVs all get rattled very badly, because there's some places where it's really broken and you can't move into the next lane because you only got 2 lanes and there's traffic going past you. So you have nowhere to go but into these divots and holes and over these broken bits. And I'm getting a bad light there. So apart from the roads, put Sparkles into around 61 to 63. We travelled most of the way, and we just smoothed along and had a great day. It was a gorgeous day. Not a cloud could be seen anywhere through the whole trip. So we had sunshine the entire way. We only had 2 stops. We stopped off exit 222 and the I-10 in California, and at exit 222 it's Wiley's Wells rest area. If you're heading east, you come off the off-ramp, you go left to the rest area. If you go right and go 3 miles, there's a state prison. Now, before you get to the exit, there's this big yellow sign that says, State Prison, do not pick up hitchhikers. So you come off the ramp, go right if you want to go to the state prison, you go 3 miles that way, or you go left, and just across the bridge, the other side is the rest area. And I'm like, well, that's really good. They tell you not to pick up hitchhikers, yet they've got a rest area on the same exit as the state prison when they're telling you not to pick up hitchhikers. But while we were there, we got out, walked around, let Zephy do her thing, and it was actually quite a nice, she was here. Oh, I think I'm going to go and have a shower later. So while we're out walking around, this 18-wheeler cab that's done as a Class C, which is, if you think, Sparkles is a Class A, the bus. The Class Bs are like the converted vans, and then you have the Class C, which is like the truck base with the cab that goes over top. So this is an 18-wheeler cab that has an RV portion attached to it. Really, really cool setup, and I will post a picture of it later. And they had this massive trailer on it, and the trailer was longer than Sparkles, and Sparkles is 32 feet, so I would guess this trailer was probably around 40 feet, and it was towing that, and it had a painted on the side of the door, which I didn't get a photograph of. It had, "This is a motorhome, it is not available for rent." So obviously they get asked that question a lot, but really, really cool setup, and I will post a picture of it later because it looked fabulous. And we saw that, and when we stopped at the second rest area later on for a bite of lunch, actually that one we had lunch, no, we didn't have lunch there. We stopped a bit later on. We saw it go past, and it was moving. But no wind today, and we were going through areas which are known for wind gusts, for, what do they call it? Blowing dust areas in Arizona. In California, it's wind gusts or windy areas, and in Arizona, it is blowing dust areas. So we went through those, and when we were at the rest area at Wiley's Wells, there was a really good stiff breeze blowing, but once we got in Sparkles, we got on the road, you couldn't even notice it. There was no the only buffering I had along the way were from some of the trucks, and normally when I get trucks going past me, I tend to slow down a little bit. Nope, I put that thing in cruise control and we just went. This is the best driving day I have ever had, so I'm feeling like my confidence and my skill level is increasing the more I drive, and so being able to stay in cruise control between 61 to 63, depending on whether I felt like increasing or not. And we were just going up those hills at that, and going up the hills and down the hills and all of that sort of stuff at the same speed and everything else. I'm just maintaining my lane. I was able to overtake a couple of trucks along the way. Best driving I have ever done so far, done to date. It was just perfect conditions, and I didn't even realize till like we're about halfway here. I'm like, man, I've had no wind today. This is awesome. Loving today. And the scenery was incredible. You're talking all of this desert land with the desert flora and fauna out there. There's the old cactus sticking up, and then there's these craggy mountains and hills, and it was just breathtaking beauty in a very different way. I love the lush green, but the barren of the desert has a beauty that is just all its own. It was actually quite spectacular. And the one thing I hate about having to drive is I don't get to stop, as I don't get to take pictures along the way, and there's really nowhere to stop. You could pull over the shoulder of the road, but I'll be stopping so often to take pictures, it wouldn't be worth it. So it's kind of like I need a photographer buddy in the seat next to me, or I need somebody to drive while I take pictures. Let's see, what else did we get up to today? So we did 196 miles in 4 hours and 15 minutes. Oh, we were, I think it was as we're coming into Blythe. I'm trying to remember if it was before or after we crossed into Arizona. I think it was at Blythe. There's one of these little towns that's on the side there, and onto the side of the road there was an 18-wheeler trailer that had the back end open, like the doors were open on it. And on the side, and it just struck me as really funny, on the side was a big sign that had warehouse space available for rent on the side of an 18-wheeler trailer. An empty 18-wheeler trailer just parked there on the side of off the side of the road in a paddock. And that just struck me as really funny because it kind of made them look like the warehouse storage was the actual trailer. So that kind of struck me as really funny. Had this toy trailer pass me, and a toy trailer is like your tow trailer, but it has a ramp at the back that will open up, and you can put like all-wheel drive vehicles in there, like the terrain vehicles, the ATVs, motorbikes, small cars, that sort of thing. And this one, they had this stuff like, the family that plays together stays together, and it had sandstorm written right across the back of it. But down in the bottom left-hand corner, it had caution. Door unexpectedly drops when trailer hits sand. That one just cracked me up. I thought that is brilliant. Obviously, they're very much into off-roading and all of that sort of stuff, but I love how the door unexpectedly drops when you hit sand. So got here to, where am I? Saddle Mountain RV Park, and no reservations. I actually called up to make a reservation. They said we don't take reservations for anything less than it's either a month or a week. And they said, but we have plenty of overnight camping, you're going to be fine, and all of that. And I'm like, okay. So I took them at their word, got here, plenty of open space, a lot of open space. And so they have a desk there, and the office was closed. So I went up, and this guy, Mike, who had the name tag on, who worked here at the park, he came up, and gave me the envelope that you fill out the front of it with all the payment information and your information and all of that. And he turns around and says, now, are you a member of any of these? And they have discounts for AAA, Good Sam, and FMCA, which is Family Motor Coach Association. And I said, yeah, I'm a member of all of those. He goes, well, what about escapees or military? And I said, well, I've got escapees. He goes, well, that one's much cheaper for you. And I had a look, and sure enough, if you're a member of escapees or you're military, you get a deeper discount. I was like, I'm all about the discounts when it comes to camping, so was able to do that. There's nice wide sites here. They're all gravel, and they all have concrete pads for a patio. So full hookup as well. And it's the first park I have been in where they've actually had 100 amp power. So that kind of surprised me because I've never been in a park with 100 amp. I've heard about it, but never seen it. So I've actually seen it now. But we're going to get out and explore tomorrow. They have a couple of off-the-leash areas. They have a swimming pool, horseshoe, bocce, very large park. They also have on the map female dorms and gent dorms. I'm not sure what the dorms are for, but we're going to go investigate that tomorrow. So it's been a really, really good day. And Tony, hey, CP Mum, are you here yet? No, I'm not. You're not going to start that with me, are you? I don't hit Orlando till March 9th or 10th. So you got a little ways to wait yet, Tony. But can't wait to see you guys either. So yeah, it's been a really, really good day. We've had a blast. We've already been out walking around a little bit, taking some pictures just around our area, haven't gone far from it. We got here, there's actually a bounder next door to us, and they were already here when we got here. And then as I'm hooking up utilities, there's another RV that showed up next door, which is not a bounder, it's something called a Revolution. And they've got a tow car on the back. So I'm taking note of tow cars that people have and those that will flat tow them, which is the 4 wheels on the floor, or dolly tow, which is 2 wheels up. Because I'm thinking that when I'm ready to buy a tow car, I actually want 4 wheels on the ground. I don't want to deal with the dolly because it's just me driving, so I've got nobody to direct me to get onto the dolly. Whereas with the tow, doing the 4 wheels, and I'm actually going to turn this around so you can see. So this is a 4-wheel. This is flat tow. So you can see they've still got it hooked up, and then you can see how empty this place is. But you can see the concrete pads over there between, and you've got the utilities of those yellow things that you can see, and then you've got the concrete pads in between, which is where your patio is. So nice wide sites, ton of space. And I think we're actually, and they must have, look at this, got all these flies, watch this. Got all these flies around. Inside the map for the park, they actually have, which I thought was rather interesting, Hickman Egg Farm issues. For those who witness violations of feathers, flies, odours, or are having respiratory issues, you may send your complaints to the county at, and then they've got a website you go to, and you get your complaint number, and then you email it to the resort. And then you can also file with the state, the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, get a complaint number with them, and again send that to the park. So obviously they've been having a lot of issues with the Hickman Egg Farm. And I was over by the door earlier, and there's just all these flies all over the screen. I want to close the door, but the second I open the door, the flies are going to want to come in here, and I don't want flies inside. And so I'm going to wait and see if it goes down. But every time I go up and I whack the screen, and they just fly away and come straight back. So I'm waiting for the sun to go down a little more to see if they get out of there, and maybe I might have to turn my porch light off. But Zephy's playing, and she just dropped her little alligator. Let's see. She's now figured out how to get down there and pull her toys out. Let's see if she flops it around like she usually does. No, what you doing? Like, she's already got her toys all out. Look, toys all over the place. Look, tearing the pieces apart. Tell you can't keep a clean carpet with a dog. But let's see. I don't know if you can see these very well, but there's all these flies all over the door, and as soon as I whack it, they fly out a little bit, and then they'll come back and land on there. So it's not even enough time to get outside and close the door and get the door closed before they get back in here. So wait for dark. Hopefully they'll go. I don't even have any fly spray, and even if I did, I don't want it around Zephy anyway. And I'm not sure which way. I know there's no breeze right now, so maybe I will try the ant spray that I have and see if that works on the flies. Maybe I'll do that. Anyway, that's it from me. Tomorrow is a rest day for us. Well, rest day as far as driving goes and traveling. We're going to go explore the park a little more tomorrow and check out the dog off the leash areas. I'll get some work done. And that's probably about it. And then on Monday we head to Tucson. But I did notice that a couple of exits on the I-10 are closed. And because they were saying for all Tucson traffic, you can't, between this exit and this exit, the I-10 is closed. So you're going to have to divert down this exit. I don't know if it's just for the weekend or if it's longer than that. Don't know. We'll investigate on Monday when we're actually on the road, because I'm not sure if the thing will actually take us all the way to Phoenix and through Phoenix and down the 10 that way, or if we'll go off on one of the other state highways to then join up with the 10 further down closer to Tucson, so we actually avoid Phoenix altogether. But we'll find out on Monday. We don't care. And that's one of the things I like about this is that I'm not concerned on time. You know, yes, there's a time I want to get on the road, but if I don't make it, it doesn't matter. As long as I get to where I've got to go before dark and I can get set up before dark, we're good. And even if we arrived here at 4 o'clock this afternoon, it still would have been fine. And even arriving now, it's 6:20 here now. There's still plenty of daylight around that I can easily set up without having lights or torches and all of that. And my utilities bay has lights inside as well. Plus I also have a light over on the outside of the RV above the utilities area too if I need it, but I don't want to have to turn those on. So anyway, that's it from me. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling Saturday. We will catch you guys tomorrow and let you know what our thoughts are of the park, and I will get the picture up of that truck set up, which was really cool. With how they've got it set up as an RV. I didn't get to see inside, I just saw the outside of it. But it was really, really cool. And then he had this massive trailer on the back. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hekonera.